Namaste, everyone. And thank you for joining me for this 45-minute yoga with small weights class. So, a couple of things before we get started. You want to have a small set of weights. I'm working with 3 pounds. I would suggest anything from 1 to 5 pounds, whatever is suitable for you. If you don't have weights, you can grab 2 cans out of your pantry and use those as your weights. You also want to have a small blanket or a beach towel to sit on. If you have blocks, you want to have your blocks handy. And if you don't have blocks, you could use two books for your blocks. Okay, so we're just going to take a few minutes to center in and do some warm-ups, and then we'll get moving. And at any time during this practice, if you want to take a break, get a drink of water, or come into child's pose, please just do that. Take care of your body. Be very mindful. And so taking a nice comfortable seat and just begin to feel your connection to the earth. Feel the sit bones, the hips, any parts of the legs and the feet that are touching the earth. And then lift the head of the arm bones up towards the ears and draw the shoulder blades onto the back. Let your hands rest on your thighs with the palms facing down or palms facing up. Elongate through the spine and lengthen through the crown. Feel your connection between the earth and the sky, as though you are the connection between the two. Your eyes can gently rest back into their sockets with the lids closed, or you can be looking down towards the tip of your nose. Just take a moment here to sit with yourself. Notice what is present for you. Notice your thoughts. Notice your feelings. Notice your physical body. Without trying to change anything, just give yourself permission to be okay with exactly how things are at this very moment. And then bring your attention to your breath. And again, resist the urge to change your breath. Just let it flow naturally. And then let's take 3 decompression breaths. So we will breathe in through the nose, and then we'll exhale through the mouth. And starting with your next breath, inhaling. And then as you exhale, open the mouth and sigh it out. And do that a few more times. Inhale through the nose. And exhale like you're fogging up a mirror through the mouth. One more time, just beginning to release some tension or tightness or stress that you might be holding on to. And then come back to your natural rhythm. And then keeping the eyes gently shut or slightly opened, we're going to release the right ear over towards the right shoulder. And then inhaling, coming back to center, and then the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then inhaling back to center. And now bring the chin down towards the center of the chest, stretching through the back of the neck and the upper back here where the neck muscles attached to the upper back muscles. And then bringing the head back to center, and then just tipping the chin up towards the ceiling, opening up the front of the throat. And then bringing your head back to center, and go ahead and blink your eyes open, and then come onto fingertips. Bring your fingertips onto your mat. Stay rooted down through your sitting bones, and then inhale, sweep the arms up and lengthening from the hip to the armpit, and then exhale the right hand down and stretch over to the right side, opening up the left ribs. And then inhale, come back to center, exhale, moving over to the left side. And then coming back up, release the arms down, and then bring the hands out in front, interlace your fingers and press the palms away. Stretching the upper back. And then inhale, bring the arms up. Now bring the hands, you're going to turn your palms in, you're going to bring your hands to the back of your head. And then with just a gentle little pressing the hands into the head, we're going to bring the head down again so the chin comes down towards the center of the chest. Just getting a deeper stretch here. And then coming back to center, take the arms back up and exhale the arms down. Good. Roll your shoulders up and back a few times. And then front and back. Good. Bring your hands behind you, right at your sacrum, and then begin to extend the arms out. So we're trying to pull the upper arm bones towards one another. Fingers are interlaced, opening up the chest. And then exhale, release the arms down. Now bring your arms into cactus arms, bring them forward, and you're going to bring the right elbow underneath of the left. And we're coming into Garudasana arms. So either you're going to come into the bind, or you're going to bring the back of the hand to the back of the hand, to the other hand. Take a breath in, inhale, and as you inhale, really lengthen, get nice and long through the torso, and on the exhale, drawing your navel towards your spine, and then we're going to round forward here. So the elbows will come down towards the chest, and the gaze is down towards the elbows. Relax your jaw. And then inhale, come back to center. And then release the bind, bring the arms down, inhale, sweep the arms up. And then cactus arms, and we'll do the second side. So arms come forward, left elbow comes underneath the right, wrap the arms, or bring the back of the hands together. Take a breath in, and then exhale, rounding forward. And then inhale, come back to center, and then exhale, release the arms down. And just shake your hands out. Okay, bring your legs forward, take your feet as wide as your sticky mat, and then just roll your thighs in and out a few times. Good. And then change the cross of your legs. And then we're going to grab our weights. You're going to bring your weights to the shoulder heads. And then inhale, press the weights up. And now as you exhale, bring your arms into cactus arms. So most of what we'll be doing 10 reps of each. And at any time, if you need to stop, please stop. And then we're going to bring the weight straight up again and then turn them forward and press them into cactus arms. Good. Inhale, inhale, we lengthen, and exhale, we're contracting the muscles of the arms. And so today we're going to be really focusing not only on the arms, the biceps, the triceps, and the forearms, but we're also working on the shoulders, the deltoids, and the upper back muscles. And we'll go for one more. Hold here. And then extend the arms back up. And then bring the weights to the chest and release the weights down. Good. And then inhale, extend the arms up. And exhale, release the arms down. Okay. Now change the cross of your legs again. And then grab your weights. And so we're going to bring the weights together. The knuckles are going to touch. And we're going to bring them up overhead. Elbows hug in towards the sides of the head. And then we're going to press them back. Tricep extensions here for 10. So we inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, press them back, contracting the muscles. Inhale and exhale. And again, going for 10. That's halfway. We have 2 more. Good. And then extend the arms up, bring the weights to the center of the chest, and then release them down. Good work. Okay, so come on to hands and knees. We'll be here for a little while, so if you need the support with a blanket or your beach towel, you want to have that underneath of your knees. And then have your weights at the top of your mat. And then come into a table pose. Knees are underneath of hips. You want to have your wrist creases underneath of your shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide. You're rooting down through all 10 finger pads. And then take a breath in, inhale, and as you exhale, round into your cat back. So we'll do a few cat cows. And then inhale, lifting the sitting bones, relax the belly, lift the head. Good. And 2 more, exhaling, really isolating the muscles of the upper back here. And 1 more. And then come back to a neutral spine. Now, take the weight into your right hand. Have the other weight off of your mat. And then take your left leg back. Tuck the toes under. Now, engage the muscles of the leg. So press through the toes and the ball of the foot. And then keep the foot flexed and lift it to hip height. Lift the whole leg to hip height. If you feel like you're dumping into your low back, draw your navel in. And then take your weight out in front, the weight in the right hand. And then as you exhale, we draw in knee to elbow. And then inhale, extend. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're going for 5 on each side. And this is the last one. And then release it down. And then take the weight into the other hand. So it would be your left hand. Take your right leg all the way out. Lift the leg to hip height. Toes are pointing down. Draw the navel towards the spine. Extend the arm out in front. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, draw into the middle, elbow to knee. And we're going for 5. And one more. And then set it down. Bring your knee down, bring your hand down. Take your knees wide, big toes together, and just press back to a child's pose for a couple of breaths. And then press back up to your table pose. So we're going to do one more thing from table. You're going to take your weight and you're going to place it behind your right knee. And then you're going to lift the foot up so that you can hold that weight securely behind the knee. Now, press down through your hands, and then we're going to lift the knee up. Good. So we're getting into the glutes here. And then we're going to bring it down and lift it up. So as we bring it down, we're inhaling and then exhaling and contracting as we lift it. And two more. And then bring it down. Take your weight to the back of your left knee. And then lift the foot, hold on to the weight, and lift the leg. And bring the knee back down for 5. Good. And then bring the knee down, remove the weight from behind the knee, come back to your table pose, tucking your toes under and stretching up and back into a downward facing dog. And so have your feet hip distance apart. Maybe take a moment here just to pedal through, bending one knee at a time. Can move your hips side to side. Just do whatever feels right to you. And then bring your knees back down onto your mat. And then bring the right foot in between the hands. We're going to grab our weights, pull them up to the chest. Front knee is over top of the ankle. The back thigh is perpendicular with your mat. And then we're going to bring the weights out to shoulder height. And we're going to bring them in for 10. Inhale and exhale. Inhale as you take the arms out. Exhale as you draw them in. We're halfway there. 5 more. Should feel this not only in your arms, but in the muscles that support the shoulders and the upper back. Good. And then one more, take them out. And then when you bring them into the chest, you're going to release the weights down. And then take your leg back and then bring your left foot forward. Grab a hold of your weights, bring them up to the chest. Same alignment here. That front knee is over top of the ankle. The back thigh is perpendicular with the mat. The back toes can be tucked under, or if you want, you can just have the toes pressing down. Draw your navel in, lift through the crown of the head, then bring the arms out to shoulder height, come up to a T, and then bring them in. We're going for 10 on this side. We're almost halfway there. And one more. Bring them into the chest. Release your weights down and take the front foot back to your table pose. Okay, so have your weights positioned at the top of your mat. Tuck your toes under, come up into a downward facing dog. And then from your downward facing dog, I want you to lift your right leg and then bend the knee and bring the foot forward in between the hands. So you're in a runner's lunge here to start. You might want to, if you have a blanket on the mat, you might want to just move that off for now, because we're not going to need that for a while. And then you're going to grab a hold of your weights, one in each hand, pull them up to the chest. Now realign yourself here. So looking at making sure that front knee is over top of the ankle. Back thighs lifting, back heels lifting. That'll help you to stay engaged in those glutes. Draw your navel in towards your spine. Bring the weights to the shoulder head and press the weight straight up. Now we're going to turn the palms forward. Now as you exhale, you're going to straighten the front leg and then circle the weights back like we're drawing a big beach ball here. And then we're going to inhale, circle them back up, exhale, bring them back. We're going for 10. Oops. 5. And so really anchor down through that front foot. Good. 2 more. And 1 more. And then bring the weights back, bring them forward, rebend the front knee. And then you're going to turn the back heel in. So now you're in a warrior 2 stance. So adjust your feet as you need to. The front heel aligns with the arch of the back foot. And then bring the weights forward so your arms are at a right angle here. We'll do some bicep curls. So as we inhale, we're gonna exhale, straighten the leg, and curl up with the weights. And then we inhale and we exhale. Good. So the inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we contract. 3. We're going for 10. So that was 5. Manage your breath. Good. And then bring the weights to the chest. Turn your feet so that your heels are directly behind your toes. So you're in a wide stance. Lift all 10 toes. Activate the inner arches and the outer arches of your feet. And then draw energetically from the outer knee to the outer hip and from the inner knee to the inner groins. And then bring your toes back down. And so you feel that muscle engagement from the feet all the way up to the hips. And then we're going to hinge forward with a nice flat back. Bring our weights down. And we're going for 10 reverse flies here. We're going to take the weights out and draw them in for 10. Halfway there. Good. Now, bring the weights back to the chest. Slowly come all the way up. Turn your feet forward again, and then bring yourself into your high lunge. Release the weights down. Take a downward facing dog pose. Come forward to a high plank, and then either knees up or down chaturanga. So I'm bringing knees down. Bend the elbows straight back, lower yourself all the way down. Place your hands beside your chest. Inhale, come up into a cobra. And then exhale, press the earth away and come into a downward facing dog. And then we'll get the second side. So lifting your left leg up. Bend the knee, bring the foot forward. Grab your weights, bring them to your chest. Lift yourself all the way up into your high lunge. And then weights come to the shoulder heads and press them straight up. Draw the shoulder blades onto the back here. Good. So the same thing on this side. So we're going to turn your palms forward so the weights are facing forward. And then on your exhale, straighten the front leg and circle the weights back. And then inhale and exhale. You can always bring the back heel down, coming into more of a warrior one stance if you would like to. Halfway there. You have two more. And then once the weights circle back, bring them forward, then you'll transition into your warrior two on this side. And then I'm going to turn so I'm not facing away from you. So finding your alignment in your feet and in your legs, and then bring the weights forward for our bicep curls. So we're going to inhale, exhale, straighten the leg on the exhale. And halfway there. Keep breathing. Two more. Good. Bring the weights to the chest. Turn your feet so the heels are behind your toes again. Take a big breath in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Coming into your forward fold with a nice flat back here. And then we're going to get the 10 reverse flies. So take the weights out to shoulder height. Bring them back in. We're going for 10. So sometimes I have a tendency to lock my knees. So if you have that same tendency, see if you can root a little more through the four corners of your feet and soften your knees. Good. And one more. And then bring the weights back down. Pull them up to the chest. Turn your feet. Come back into your lunge. Release the weights down. Take a downward facing dog. And then bring your knees down onto your mat. Take the knees wide, bring the big toes together, and take your child's pose for 3 breaths here. Take 3 of those decompression breaths. So if you even want to, fold your arms in and bring your forehead onto the backs of your hands. And then just taking 3 nice long inhalations and then sigh it out through the mouth. Good. And then bring your hands forward again. Come back onto your knees. Come back to your downward facing dog. And then from down dog, lift your right leg up. Bring the right foot forward. Set it down inside the right hand. Grab your weights, pull them up to the chest, come up to your high lunge. Bring them to the shoulder heads and then press them straight up. Draw the shoulder blades on the back. Draw your navel in towards your spine. Now we're going to come into airplane lunge. So bring the weights back to the chest again. So you are leaning forward. You have a nice long line from the heel, that back heel, to the hip, to the arm, or to the shoulder. And then we're going to press the weights back with the palms facing up. We're going to do 10 pulses here. So the weights are alongside the hips, and then we're going to press them up and back for 10. Good. And then bring them forward. Come all the way up. Transition into warrior two. Get your heel to arch alignment. Bring the arms out to a T. Bend your right elbow, place it on top of the thigh. Bring the other leg to the shoulder head and then press it up. Now we're going to bring it back to the shoulder head. We're going to turn down towards our mat and bring the weight down. And as if you're pulling a big stubborn weed out of your garden, you're going to bring it back and open it up. And we're going for 10. Make sure that you're breathing. And when I say make sure that you're breathing, because I know that we are, but we want to make sure that we're consciously breathing. Good. And then one more, press it up, and then using your core, bring yourself back to your warrior two. Draw them into the chest. Turn your feet, so you're going to turn the heels in and toes are going to turn out. And then bend your knees, come into the horse stance here. Now, bring the weights to the shoulder heads, press them up. And then we're going to bring them back to the shoulder heads, straighten the legs, hinge from the hips, cross the wrists. So bring your right wrist over your left. And then inhale, bend the knees, shoulder heads, press them up. Back to the shoulder heads, straighten the legs, reverse the cross. Back to the shoulder heads, up, down, other cross. We're only going to do 5 on each side. One more to each side. Good job, everybody. Come back up, straighten the legs, turn your feet so they're in a wide stance again. Bring the weights to the chest, hinge from your hips, come forward. You can use your weights as your blocks, actually, if you turn them on their sides, or your cans, or whatever you're using. Take a nice full breath in. Exhale, see if you can soften, maybe bend the elbows, soften the knees. Let the head come down. And then inhale, lengthen. Come out to a flat back. Grab your weights, pull them up to the chest, come all the way up. Turn your feet so you're facing the front of your mat again. Come into your lunge. Release the weights down. Take downward facing dog. Shift forward to a high plank. And then lower down, either knees up or down, chaturanga. Take a cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. And then lift the left leg. Bend the knee, bring the foot forward. Grab a hold of your weights, pull them up to the chest. Come into your high lunge. And then we'll transition into our airplane lunge. So you're leaning forward, draw the navel towards the spine, and then turn the palms up and 10 pulses. Good. Bring the weights back to the chest. Come all the way up. Turn your feet so you're back in a warrior two stance. Bring the weights out to shoulder height. Bend the elbow, place it on top of the thigh. Other arm extends all the way up. Bring it to the shoulder head. Turn down and pull the weight. Open back up. Halfway there. And one more. Once the weight comes all the way up, use your core, bring yourself to warrior two. Pull the weights in, straighten that leg, turn your feet, and then turn so that the heels turn in and the toes turn out. Bend your knees. Bring the weights to the shoulder heads, press them up. So we're going for our 10 crisscrosses again. Weights down, hinge forward, straighten the legs, cross over. Good. Opposite cross. That's 3. 4. 4.5. And 5. Good. Straighten the legs. Turn your feet so the heels are behind your toes. Bring the weights to the chest. Hinge from your hips. Come forward. Weights can come down on their sides if you want to use them for blocks. Take a couple of breaths. And then pull the weights up, come all the way up to standing, turn the feet, come back into your lunge, release the weights down, and take a downward facing dog pose. And then bring your knees down onto your mat. And then just swing your legs around in front. Extend the legs all the way out. And then inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, hinge from your hips. And so we're not using a strap or anything for our seated forward fold. So if you have a tendency to round into your upper back, just let your hands come down to frame your legs. If you know that you can take the outer edges of your feet without rounding, then take the outer edges of your feet. You can keep the knees a little bent. So keeping your feet flexed, keeping the legs pressing down into the mat. So in our seated forward fold, we are actually, the pelvis is moving forward, it's tilting forward. And because the pelvis is connected to the sit bones, you don't want to try to stay anchored as much through the sitting bones as we do through the thigh bones. So we want to have a little bit of movement in our sitting bones in our seated forward fold. Good. And then inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, release the arms down. And then go ahead and come onto your back. Have your weights handy to either side. And we're going to start with bridge pose. So have your feet, the heels in close to the sitting bones, and have your feet hip bone distance apart. And then you're going to grab your weights and you're going to bring your weights right to where the hip creases are on the front of the thighs. And we're going to do 3 bridge lifts to the count of 5, and we're going to lower to the count of 5. And you're going to hold these your weights right at the hip creases. Excuse me. So press down through the feet, down through the center of the back of the head. Lift the hips first, and then sequence the spine for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze at the top and lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to do that again. So inhaling, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lowering, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more time. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just move your weights off to the side. Draw your knees in toward your chest. Give yourself a bear hug. Rock a little side to side or front to back, whatever feels good to your back body. And then bring your arms out to a T. Bring your feet down onto your mat with your knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Take your feet wide. So you still have that inverted V shape in your legs. And then just begin to windshield wiper your legs back and forth a few times. Moving nice and slowly from side to side. and then come back to center. Move your hips a few inches over to the left and let the legs come over to the right, coming into a nice spinal twist. Maybe the hand can come to the leg to create a little bit of compression there. You should feel a nice stretch through the outer hip, the IT band. And then inhale, come back to center. Align your hips and then move them to the other side and dropping your legs over. You can bring the hand to the outer leg if you want to deepen the stretch. Take a couple of breaths. And then slowly come back to center. Bring your feet onto your mat. Move your hips back to the center. Extend your legs all the way out or keep knees bent, whatever feels best, especially to your low back. And then the arms can come down beside you with the palms facing up. Take your feet as wide as your sticky mat and let the feet just kind of flop away from each other. And just see if you can invite some movement, some relaxation into your body, to your feet, into your legs, arms and your hands. Allow your eyes to shut. Relax the muscles of your face. Create a tiny space between the upper and lower teeth. Soften the throat. And then slowly bring your awareness back to your breath, back into your body. Begin to make some movements, maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes, rolling the wrist and ankles, moving in whatever way feels good to you. And then when you're ready, draw your feet onto your mat.
And then roll over to your side and roll into your hands and make your way up to a seated position.
And then we'll close class together, bringing palms into Anjali Mudra at our heart center, bowing our head and lifting our heart. Thanking you for joining me for this class, and blessings to all, and hope everyone is well. Namaste.